Welcome to Irish American Magazine. I'm Patricia Harty, and my guest today is Alison Metcalfe. Alison is Tourism Ireland's Executive Vice President, North America, Australia, and New Zealand. Alison, you did a great interview on NBC at the parade. So can you, for my viewers that didn't catch that, maybe you could fill us in a little bit?
Yeah, I just think it was a great opportunity. It was just great to see the parade back, on the streets of New York. We know the parade is very proud of its 260th year heritage there, but it was just great to see the enthusiasm of spectators along the route. And I think it just epitomizes just the strength of the connections between Ireland and the US. And I think to be out there marching on Fifth Avenue, celebrating all that is great about Irish heritage, culture, music, and our connections, our ancestral connections. There's three very important things that are important to people when they travel to Ireland. So it was great to be back out there, and I was just keen and happy to tell people that they can travel back to Ireland now with confidence. So long may that continue as we're beginning to restart travel. St. Patrick's Day is typically the start of the tourism season, and this year we hope that will also be the case.
So what do you think people are expecting, and can Ireland meet their expectations? Because we've built up this big fantasy about getting home, so.
I think what can people expect? People can expect things to be back to normal now. And I think we've got to the point where I think like here in the US, living with COVID now, I think the beauty is Ireland's vaccination rate is the highest in Europe. It's well over 93% of the population fully vaccinated. And as a result of that, together with all of the public health safety measures that were taken over 18 months, almost 2 years, Ireland is in a really good position now where the government was able to lift all of the remaining public health restrictions. So right now you can travel back to Ireland. You no longer have to provide proof of vaccination. You don't need to fill in a passenger locator form. You can actually travel with your passport and a boarding pass, just how it used to be. And knowing when you get to Ireland that all of the businesses in the travel and hospitality sector put those protocols, those health and safety protocols in place over many years. So you can travel with safety and with security and with confidence more than anything else. So I think what people want to know is that the trip that they planned maybe 12 months ago, maybe 24 months ago, is going to be as good, and if not even better than it was then. I mean, the experience is not going to be compromised in any way. It's going to be as good as it ever was supposed to be. And I suppose at the end of the day, everybody is really looking forward to just rolling out that green welcome mat. We just cannot wait to welcome people back, and people are obviously traveling back as we speak right now.
I know that airline access, of course, is incredibly important to the recovery, and I'm delighted that flights have again resumed through Shannon. Can you just tell us what we can expect for the summer, or should we book now?
Well, you should certainly book now, because we know that there are some good deals out there, and we know which way oil prices are heading. So I would suggest that people do book now. But the air access position is much better than we ever imagined at this time of the year. Before the pandemic, much of the growth that was achieved as a result of an expansion in air access. And what we're going to see this summer, we'll see the return of the restoration of 87% of seat capacity that we had in 2019. So there will be direct services from 14 gateways by July of this year. And that, as you said, Patricia, does include services to Shannon from Boston, JFK and Newark. So that's really important, obviously, for the west of Ireland and for anybody traveling to the west of Ireland, but certainly for golfers. They love to fly into Shannon and get out on the golf course as quickly as possible.
And so what other kind of experiences do you think people are looking for? I mean, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, but I also know that the Wild Atlantic Way is extremely popular. So what sort of experiences are people going to be looking for? And
I think people are looking for, as we know, people are looking for outdoor experiences. So they're looking to really sort of engage with local culture, so history, heritage, scenery, music, and really immerse themselves in the experience. And I think that's something that we do very well. We engage with locals on a regular basis. So I think essentially what people are going to be able to see is the Wild Atlantic Way offers huge opportunities to tour, whether it's independently touring or on an escorted coach tour, or for golfers. There's tremendous activities available there. Northern Ireland obviously has got the beautiful Causeway coastal route. And you mentioned Game of Thrones, but anybody interested in Game of Thrones, the new Game of Thrones studio tour just opened 4 or 5 weeks ago in Banbridge, so that's a big attraction. Dublin, of course, is always full of things to do and see. And of course, we're celebrating Ulysses' centenary. So James Joyce's Ulysses. So again, there's going to be lots of literary events happening. Ireland's Ancient East, again, full of great things to do and see, lots of ancient heritage and history and castles. And of course, I think we saw during the pandemic, everybody became a lot more active. So again, we shouldn't forget about all of our great greenways and blueways, and people can get out and explore on their bikes, on foot, out kayaking and doing all sorts of other things, activities that perhaps were always there, but perhaps weren't as well known, certainly to overseas visitors. So during the pandemic, businesses have taken that time to invest in their experiences, to take a look at what they're offering visitors. And I think what you're going to see is those experiences have improved. Many are offering new experiences. And it's all about connecting with the landscape, connecting with the people, and connecting with the place. And of course, we can't forget food. That's another great reason to visit. But people are going primarily for history, heritage, scenery, and culture. And those are the main drivers from the US.
How important is the Irish diaspora?
Hugely important. I mean, I think, you've only just seen that over the last, the St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick's Week, St. Patrick's Month. We're absolutely fortunate to have, 34 million Americans that claim Irish ancestry, a powerful and influential diaspora who are so proud of their Irish roots and their culture and their heritage. And that heritage goes back many generations and many circumstances. And I think at Irish America just how passionate people are about that heritage, and they continue to identify as being Irish. And of course, obviously, the current president is hugely proud of his Irish heritage. So they act as great ambassadors for us. And as we start to restart travel from the United States, some of the first movers, some of the first travelers are the Irish diaspora. First of all, those people who were born and bred in Ireland with friends and family who wanted to get back, and then it's that next generation of the diaspora who have connections that want to go back. We know that people want to go to familiar places. We know they want to spend more time with their friends and family in welcoming destinations, and Ireland really fits that bill. And if you feel you have connections there, then it's a very easy choice for people. So we hope that as the Irish diaspora go back and revisit the land of their ancestors, they come back and share those experiences with the broader US market, with their friends who perhaps don't have heritage, because Ireland is not just a great destination for people with heritage, it's a great destination, period.
Speaking of that, I know the US market is very important in Ireland's recovery. And I know you had phenomenal figures in 2019. What are you doing to try and boost up those figures now that we've had a little layover?
That's right. We've had things on pause for a couple of years. So pre-pandemic in 2019, we welcomed almost 2 million Americans. People often ask me, well, how many do we think we will visit this year in 2022? The honest answer is we don't know, but we think a realistic target is around, if we could get to 65% of that 2019 level, that would be a good and realistic result. That's obviously, aided by great air access. There's certainly a lot of pent-up demand. So while the pandemic has impacted our travel plans and many of us have had to cancel trips, it certainly hasn't impacted our desire to travel generally and our desire to visit the island of Ireland. So we hoped, we would hope with significant investment in marketing, we would get back to those kind of levels within the next sort of 2 years or so. Probably worth mentioning, Patricia, we have launched our largest marketing campaign in the US market this year. So we're putting all our eggs into the US basket. We know that the US market certainly is a very valuable one. Americans stay longer, they spend more, and we're out there with a significant campaign on television and across digital and social. We're also working across a number of brand partnerships. We're working closely with our airline partners. We're working with our media partners to deliver that cut through, because we realize it's very competitive out there, and we know that most of our competing destinations, everybody is restarting travel at the same time. So the US outbound market to Europe in general is likely to be somewhat smaller. So we need to make sure that Ireland wins its fair share. And of course, we also have to recognize that as COVID moves into the rearview mirror, we're confronting other challenges, obviously with the war in Ukraine and the terrible humanitarian crisis there. And again, we need to monitor that situation to see what impact that has on consumer sentiment. So again, I think as we've become very nimble and flexible over the last couple of years, we will continue to flex our marketing plans. But I think it's fair to say that the government's commitment to tourism as a major job creator has certainly coming through in terms of the marketing investment that is making in Tourism Ireland as the international marketing agency to rebuild tourism back from markets like the US and other markets in Europe and Great Britain.
Well, as I always tell people, you're never going to be disappointed in Ireland. And I always kind of say, don't get stuck into a planned trip too much, although, of course, CIE or those tours are wonderful. But Ireland is full of the unexpected, and you can expect the unexpected. And I suppose I'm telling my friends anyway, if it's on the bucket list, get it off the bucket list and get it over, push the green button. You guys have a green button campaign?
We launched as part of our marketing campaign. It's called, we're inviting people to push the green button, press the green button. I think green is somewhat synonymous with go, with Ireland. I suppose we've been inspiring people for the last 2 years about future travel and all of the great reasons to visit the island of Ireland. And what we're really saying to them now is the time to start planning that trip. And making those bookings so that potential trip that was perhaps just a dream 12 or 18 months ago can become a reality. So the Green Button campaign is running right across the US. And I suppose we are investing our marketing dollars in those markets that we know will that have air access and are likely to respond most quickly and deliver the best results. So listen, it's the spontaneous things in Ireland that makes the best trips. And as I always say from our research, people expect to see great things, great scenery, absolutely stunning landscape. But it's the people they meet, it's the stories that they hear, it's those funny things that happen. Those are the things that people that really remember about a trip. And they're the things that they tend to share with their friends when they come back. So as I say, we just hope that Ireland is on the radar for as many people as possible this year, and we look forward to ensuring that they have the best possible trip as ever.
And so where www.ireland.com or Tourism Ireland? Where's the best place for them to start looking?
I think the best place to start looking is on Ireland.com. It's a one-stop travel shop. Tourism, we don't sell anything as Tourism Ireland, so it's a great opportunity for you to start your trip planning. There's some great trip planning tools. You can explore putting an itinerary together that takes you through the wide Atlantic Way, Ireland's ancient East, Northern Ireland, the hidden heartlands, and of course, into our capitals of Dublin and Belfast. So start there, and then you can link off to partners, airlines and tour operators that then can help you plan those trips and make those bookings for you.
And just before we close, Alison, do you want to talk a little bit about the Imax movie Ireland, which is just phenomenal? I was lucky enough to see it.
Yes, this was an exciting project. Tourism Ireland has partnered with Imax movie producer McGilvray Freeman Films based in Southern California. They have produced some incredible Imax movies over the years, including one for the national parks with Brand USA. And Ireland is, it's narrated by Liam Neeson, which I think is very special. And the movie that we premiered in New York just a few weeks ago, I think it really showcases not only the scenic beauty of the island of Ireland, but I think it talks to the new energy and that is coming out of Ireland through its young people. And what this movie does is it follows 4 young people from the north and from the south around the island of Ireland, exploring different parts of the island. And it exudes, and I think it presents Ireland in a way that perhaps hasn't been seen before. There's a great sense of energy and activity in the movie. And certainly if you get the opportunity to see an IMAX theatre with the 3D glasses, it really draws you in. You really do feel as though you're on the edge of the Cliffs of Moher, or you're on the Carrick-a-Reid rope bridge. It's a 40-minute movie, and we hope that it will inspire people to consider visiting the island of Ireland. Stunning photography, and I've never seen such great aerial footage over Skellig Michael. It's absolutely stunning. So I'd encourage people to go out there and see it. It's being rolled out to IMAX theatres right across North America and ultimately around the globe.
Great. Alison, thank you very much for joining me here today. And I look forward to my next trip to Ireland very soon.
Great to be with you, Patricia. Thanks as always.
Thank you.